everybody. My name is Erin Stojakovic, Vice President of Mortgage Lending and Certified Divorce Lending Professional with OriginPoint. And today we've got Tania Forte as our real estate professional joining us at the OriginPoint Real Estate Roundtable. Tania, thank you so much for being our very first guest. We're really excited to have you today.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
am.
Just to tell you a little bit about Tania, because I know she won't toot her own horn, Tania is consistently a top 5 independent producer in the Park Ridge market. She has been in the Park Ridge area. Her family's been there for over 50 years and consistently a top leader in the community, giving back to the community in many different ways. She's a co-president on the Maine South Baseball Boosters, a 501c3 that she helped develop in 2024. She is a co-chair on the Chamber of Commerce Women in Business Group with myself, also a co-recipient of the Community Star this year for 2026.
Yeah, that was an exciting award.
Yeah. We co-chaired together and won this little award together that we're really proud of and excited about. And just really, a well-known figure in the community when it comes to being a real estate professional. So Tania, in your, vast experience in the hyperlocal Park Ridge market, tell us a little bit about what's happening in the market right now and what people should understand that differentiates 2026 from years past.
Yeah. I would say it was a very quick start to the market. The people that did not wait for the weather to turn spring are the ones that are already in the market and they're doing well. Mm-hmm. I would say you really have to have a good strategy in this market. Be very well prepared.
Okay.
There's so many things you can do, whether you're a buyer or seller, to prepare your home. And I think the mistake people make is they wait until they're ready to move before they call on the realtors. There's so much you can do to prepare ahead of time, whether it's things to your home that need to be done, preparing your inside, outside, the finance piece. Sometimes people think I just call and get my pre-approval, but I know when they work earlier on the pre-approval, there's things that you could do to get them a better loan. So there's just so much they can do to prepare in this market.
Yeah, you're spot on. I would agree with that. I'd say that really it's never too early to get started. No. Having a professional look at your property if you're listing, or having a loan officer look at your finances if you're thinking about buying, to figure out what your bandwidth really looks like.
Right.
That's such
and
a
with
good
the
point.
Inventory struggles that we're having, and that's where we're seeing it again in 2026. It's going to take longer than people think.
Yeah.
You're not going to go out on one weekend and see the perfect, well, that would be nice if you did, but most likely you're going to need some time to find the perfect home.
Yeah.
So I think giving yourself time. And then I always tell people, the more time you give yourself to look, when you find the perfect home, you're not going to second guess yourself. You're going to know, I've seen these 10 homes that were not right for me. And then when you find the right home, it's so obvious to you.
Because you've been doing the education.
Right.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So Tania, you're very focused on our community.
I am.
And tell me, why do you feel, I know I really feel very strongly about this, but why do you feel that local expertise is so very important in a market like Park Ridge?
Yeah. From a buyer's perspective, I get a lot of detailed questions. I mean, obviously, I have 2 kids, which I've raised in Park Ridge.
Yeah.
My husband, the ongoing joke, there's always one spouse that goes to Maine South, and my husband was that one spouse and drew me here from Southern California. So it's a very powerful draw to Park Ridge. Just knowing the community and knowing the ins and outs. I've been through the schools. I've been through all the youth programs. I've been through the park district, the library, all the things that people look for that you can't find online.
Absolutely.
From a seller's perspective, I know what the buyers are looking for. I can position their home. I can strategize with them to make sure that they're targeting the right buyers. Park Ridge has a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And so do a lot of the surrounding communities. So I know them all well. So I can compare and contrast what you're going to get in Arlington Heights, Glenview, all the other communities that people kind of look when they start in Park Ridge, and then they kind of expand out. So I feel like I can give them insight that they can't find otherwise.
Yeah, you know pretty much every house in Park Ridge, and you've seen them turn over the years.
And I think the
really
other thing is
there.
relationships, right? I mean, in a low inventory market, we're working together to find off-market properties. I have a very strong network, both professionally and personally, and I think that benefits people as well.
Absolutely. I know that when people see our names on the contract or on an offer, they know we'll get them to closing.
Right.
They've been there with us. Right. They know that we're not going to waste their time on silly
And on the flip side, you were just on the other side of the deal with me, and
Yeah.
I selected that buyer knowing that it was a strong agent and a strong loan officer, and I knew I was going to get to closing on this deal. So
Yeah. Thank you for that.
yeah.
So tell me, what do buyers and sellers often underestimate in this market?
Timing. I feel like people think they know the timing, and I think it's very unique in this market. I think they underestimate what their home is worth.
Yeah.
On the seller side.
Underestimate. Yeah. Okay.
I I see a lot of people underestimate, and I see a lot of people overestimate.
Okay.
I see it both ways.
Sure.
And I try to be fact-based with them, right? And we have a great program at Properties, the Private to Prominent, and it's such a good tool. I love it. It's so effective, and it really helps the sellers and the buyers, but really helps the sellers learn how to price their home too.
Okay. And it keeps you a little more connected with what's coming on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've got
Yeah.
the sneak peek, the inside scoop.
Yep.
That's awesome. And that's the edge.
It's an advantage that
in
we
the,
have.
in a market like this.
Yes,
You know,
for sure.
we
And
heard
you need it.
statistically low inventory numbers, and
Yeah.
you know, you need to know what's coming,
Right.
because it'll be gone before it hits the market.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't just use that for buyer inventory. I'm constantly calling people saying, do you know your neighbors are getting ready to sell? Because
yeah, that's brilliant.
you know people that are going to sell. So
Sure.
just having that community connection.
And you've got those relationships, so you can, you know, pick up
Right.
the phone and call your friend who you
Right.
closed with a couple months back. That's
Right.
great. Okay, so then what advice would you give to buyers once they start the home buying process?
To be open.
Okay.
You know, it's funny. I have conversations. I have a buyer consultation with everybody, and I sit and they tell me exactly what they want and their must-haves and things that they don't want. And as we get out and start to look at properties, they start to change their needs and their wants. And I see the evolution, so I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
They don't know until it actually happens. And the other thing is, you know, I always tell them to work with the loan officer that's going to give them a monthly budget and work within their budget. They don't want to change their lifestyle.
Right.
They don't want to be house poor. They still want to take their vacations. And sometimes the number they're approved for is much higher than the number they're comfortable with. And I
Right.
mean, you and I have this conversation all the time. And when I refer business, I say, you're going to work on your monthly budget. She'll price out the home, and you can decide, is that budget going to work for me?
I feel like you and I've got this really down to a science. Having a very thorough buyer consultation on both ends.
Yeah.
On my end, financially, to ascertain what their goals are for the short term and the long term, to try and figure out what their lifestyle looks like and what their expectations are. I think making sure their expectations align with reality before I send them off shopping with you.
Right.
And making sure, especially if you've got first-time home buyer husband and wife, making sure they're on, or co-borrowers, making sure that they're on the same page financially.
And a lot
because
of times they're not.
they're not. You know, you've got one who wants here and the other one who's super conservative, and that can make your job a lot harder if
Right.
I don't help you get them aligned.
Right.
Kind of tag team them and corral them
And
in.
it takes time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we usually start them on the lower end and
Right.
then let them work their way up. And then you kind of say, all right, they've maxed, they're
Yeah.
capped. So it helps.
And it needs to feel like it's their decision when they make that step
100%.
forward. And I do feel like, you know, we call that the educational part of their process, of the home buying process.
Yep.
During that time where they're testing the waters, figuring out their own bandwidth,
Yeah.
and we're supporting them in that, letting them know that they're in the driver's seat, but also reminding them what the original goals that they told us about are.
And you
So,
can see when it clicks for them.
yeah.
I can see it, and then they'll have a conversation with you, and you'll call me and say they're at this price point.
Yeah.
Now, like it, and you just have to be patient with them.
Right.
And that's what I love to do. That's why I love my job. I love to see people start with the goal, and then they really do get the lifestyle
Yeah.
that they want in the end.
Yeah.
I always tell people you're never gonna sit at a closing table and wish you got a different property. You're gonna find the right property, and you're gonna be happy, and everyone's gonna be goal met.
Okay, so on the flip side, what should sellers be thinking about before listing in this market?
I think sellers have a maybe an unreasonable expectation that homes are selling themselves
Yeah,
for whatever price you want to sell them at.
right.
It might look that way, but the reality is it's not. Some homes are selling quickly, and some homes are sitting for a while.
Yeah.
And I think it all comes down to pricing and preparation and positioning the house from a marketing standpoint. So what a seller can do is start to declutter, start to fix things. You know, a lot of people are like, I don't have to fix anything. They'll take whatever. No, that's not true. You know, people don't want to inherit your problems.
Yeah. First impression is very important.
First impression is so important. And I'm not saying fix anything. And that's one of the things that I love to do. Walk through the house with the seller and say, we know this is broken. Let's price the house accordingly. This is an easy fix. We'll get you a good bang for the buck. Fix this, paint this. You know, I'm not asking them to spend. But we also have a great new program at Properties, too, that will help them if they feel like they need to put a bigger investment in it. So we have options. Yeah. So we have options for them. And then pricing, you know, I love to have the pricing discussion with sellers, and I always ask them where they think their number is, and they look at me, and half of them look at me and say, I'm not going to tell you till you tell me, and I can appreciate that. But really, when I'm trying, and I always tell them, you're not going to influence me.
Yeah.
Like your number is not going to influence me, but at least I can help close the gap if there is one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different pricing strategies. There's a ton. And that's actually one of the most exciting things I think in this market is the different pricing strategies that we can employ with.
You love the data.
I love it.
You do. You love the data.
I have a corporate finance background.
And honestly,
I mean, that's what
coming from the financial side, I appreciate that because you've already thought about how's this going to appraise out if it's a mortgage deal. If it's a cash deal, you know, that's a little bit different. But if it's a mortgage deal, we want to make sure that, you know, we're not going to have issues when we get under contract and order that appraisal, and you're doing your job in advance to vet out and make sure that those comps are there.
And I think we have, like I was talking about that private to prominent program at Properties, we have such a strong system in place to really test pricing, and it's effective.
It's fabulous.
Really effective.
Great.
I have not had anybody disappointed with their sale price.
Okay, so this one's a little self-indulgent, but tell me, what do you think about our relationship as a lender and a realtor that have been working together for 10 years consistently? We've got, you know, our past client database together. What do you think about our relationship that's important? I know I've got a couple things that I think is pretty
That's important
special.
to work or to my personal life. To work, I think we know each other's style. I think we're at that point, like a married couple, where they say you can complete each other's sentences, where we've surpassed that point years ago.
Yeah.
But I think you also understand that I take my job very seriously. Confidential information is confidential. There's things you don't tell me about my client that I don't need to know.
Absolutely.
I don't want to know.
Well, that seller deal was a perfect example. You know, you and I were kind of like, oh, here's the offer. My name's on it. Okay, great. And we really didn't talk about it till it closed.
We were even on vacation together and still didn't talk about it.
We didn't even talk about it till after it closed. But, you know, I respect that about you. Honestly, you're one of the most private and professional realtors I've ever worked with. And I know that's so important to you.
It is.
And so I really respect that boundary.
Trust, right?
Yeah.
Your clients need to trust you.
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't know the relationship, the personal relationship that you and I have, because we keep it so professional.
Correct.
But then they eventually see us around town together, and that's what I love, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you bring us Starbucks at the inspection, you bring us Starbucks at closing, so you're like, you already know everybody's Starbucks orders. And then we see them around town. We see them at farmers markets, and then that's the part I love about the community, right?
Yeah.
You watch them,
we see them
have
babies.
kids. Exactly.
Yeah. They come to our women's group.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really fun. And I feel like that's the one thing about this job that always makes me, I don't know, feel so engaged and connected is the relationships that we're creating. They're constantly growing and developing, and it's our communities. So it's people with their friends and their children and their homes. It's beautiful. We go to, you know, check out the updates that they've done to the house after closing and have some wine. It's awesome. That's the most rewarding piece of the job.
It is. It drove my kids nuts when we were little, because I used to tell them, everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows who we are. Like, you gotta. Yeah. And it's true. It's a small community, and that's what I love about it. I mean, that's the draw of these little communities.
Yeah. No, and you also had a good point.
Good and bad.
I feel like we do a really good job of, you know, let's say, for example, somebody's pre-approved at a particular expectation that they want. We kind of, when we communicate so well, I really feel like we cut to the chase and help them accomplish their goals, because you're seeing things that they want and I'm seeing things that they need. And we really marry those very well to help them find something that's going to, you know, create a happy home.
Right. And finding creative solutions for them. I think we're both very good at that.
Okay. So what would be your key takeaway for our listeners today? If you could give one piece of Tania Forte grade A sage advice, what would that be?
Key takeaway, I would say, be prepared, be realistic, be patient in this market.
And I'm hearing you say also it's never too soon to start. No. Even if you don't think you're quite ready, to get your ducks in a row and do the homework, because you can make the educational phase so much more valuable if you don't rush it.
Right. And this is just, I cringe sometimes when I'm on social media and I see people trying to sell their home on Facebook. Like this is not a piece of furniture. Like you have, it's your largest asset. I mean, for a lot of people, and don't underestimate the professional. Like I told you this example before, like we hire a professional landscaper and my husband says, I can mow the lawn. I said, you can mow the lawn and I'm sure you would do a good job, but could you do a professional job? And could you do a great job? And would it look like somebody that does this every day for their career? Like you'd hire professionals.
Edge the sidewalk.
You edge the sidewalk like I want it.
Right. No, I get that.
It's going to be better. Professionals. I mean, and evaluate a professional versus doing it on your own, and see the benefit and the risk that we take off of the professionals. So.
And in our Chicagoland area, I don't think real estate is for the faint of heart. Not to say that we've overcomplicated it, but there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of changes to the contracts. Make sure you're working with a professional who knows what they're doing.
Well, and the other thing is, sometimes you think one offer is really, really good, but there could be a red flag that you're just not going to see. Right. It's like I always say, I just want to find the sticky buyers for my listings. I don't want to find the highest bidder. Yeah. I want to find the one that's actually going to make it to close. The closing.
Absolutely. That's what really matters. Okay. Last question for you. What would you say after all of these years in real estate? What is the best part of your job?
By far the relationships that I've made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that history, and just especially in the community, but everywhere. You can go to Lombard and see someone you closed a couple weeks back and have those connections.
I mean, the fact that people trust me and they refer their clients or their friends and family to me, that's like, honestly, people say it's the biggest compliment you can receive. It really is. Yeah. Like, it's why I do what I do. Just to see people's dreams come true. It is the best part of my job. And honestly, we're all driven by our whys in life, and my why is very well defined, and this job really lets me spend time with my family when I want to spend time. They're like working and at sporting events, but I'm working. But I can be present for them too. But really, it's a lot of it's just the relationships. I love to see people around town. I love the friends just to see people's dreams come true. And really that's what this is.
Okay. And I want to circle back on one thing that I feel like you've done a lot of work on over the last decade. And that's, something I specialize in is divorce. Yeah. I think that's something that you've really embraced in your career, and you've worked with couples, on both sides, simultaneously, separately. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges of when you're working with a divorce, other than the obvious? Obviously there's a lot of emotional entanglement, but do you feel like, this is an area in which it's not for everyone? Perhaps
it's not for everyone, because you can't get involved. You have to have boundaries, I should say. It's not you can't get involved. You have to have boundaries, and you have to make sure that you're serving each client as separate clients, because they truly are. And then when you're selling a home, you have to be respectful to both sides. No matter what you know or don't know about the situation, it's still, again, to your point, I just have to put on, this is my professional hat, and I will get the job done, and I set the goals, and
it's complicated.
It's complicated, but it can be done. And I've done it several times, and I feel like we've done it successfully several times. Yeah. So.
And that's one area in which I feel like your confidentiality also shines. I feel like I'll find out years later, and that potentially even, whatever, somebody got divorced or whatnot.
It's a sensitive,
you don't talk about it.
And often there's kids involved and kids in the community. So you just want to be respectful.
I think that's great. Yep, absolutely. What is it about Park Ridge that you really, that you find so special, and why did you decide to make this your home, other than the fact your husband dragged you from Southern California down here?
He did, but he did drag me, and then every winter he would say, it's time to leave, and I would say, no, we're not leaving Park Ridge ever.
Yeah. You fell in love.
I did. It's such a close-knit community, and this community will bicker over the silliest things, but
Yeah.
then when there's a need, they come together like nobody's business. I mean, they can rally behind a cause.
Yeah. I've never seen a more generous community in my entire life,
Right.
like that really will, lock arms and help their neighbor
Right.
when push comes to shove.
Yeah, and it's a place you want your kids to see that, right? You don't want your kids to see, you want your kids to feel a sense of community. And I don't know that they'll end up back here,
Yeah.
but I'm not selling my house because I'm pretty sure they're
I
going
wouldn't be
to.
surprised. Yeah,
I know, I think
wouldn't
they
be.
would
Yeah.
eventually. But I love all the small businesses, and that's one of the main reasons that I like to be involved in the chamber, because
Yeah.
I feel like we can help facilitate the success of those small businesses. People put their life into starting these businesses, they financially and time and everything else, and just to help them even a little bit, whether we host an event at their place or promote them, through one of our events, through the chamber's events.
Women in business group.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like you can have such a small act of kindness goes so far in our community.
No, there's nothing better than when we get to champion and cheer for the small business owners of Park Ridge. We've got so many over the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So many new restaurants and boutiques.
Oh my gosh, I know. The whole vibe of Park Ridge has changed over the last 10 years.
It gets better every year, we keep saying, which,
You have choices.
scares me. Yeah, a little bit, because everybody's going to know about our little hidden secret,
know.
but it's absolutely the best. Schools are amazing.
Schools are amazing.
Very tight-knit community, tight real estate community. I feel
it
like
is.
truly it's one of the, in all the areas that I work, because I have a little more bandwidth as a loan officer, I branch out much more. I would say that the realtors are connected.
Yeah,
And they
we are.
respect those who they know are consistent in the community. They'll give more consideration to those folks. It's one of the reasons why I do think hyperlocal is so important. It's those relationships that actually you realtors are creating with one another in that tight-knit group.
Right.
It
is, and right, you're as a realtor, you're trying to get your job done for your client, whether you're buying or selling. I mean, we had the deal with somebody from another brokerage, and she knew you and I both, and knew our reputation, and we were in a multiple offer situation, and we were not the highest offer.
I know.
And she told her client, "These two will get you to the closing table," and that's why you have the local network. And I respect a lot of the realtors in Park Ridge. We have some very strong, great realtors.
Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from. So
So it's pretty impressive that you're top 5 is what you're trying to say. It's good. No, it's true. It's great. And I do feel like I said, it just keeps getting better.
it
so
is, yeah.
when we are thinking about planning our events with the Chamber of Commerce and the Women in Business Group, and we're thinking about going out with our family and friends, what are some of your favorite spots to grab a coffee, grab a glass of wine, have dinner, go shop? What's your top go-to list in Park Ridge?
Okay, espresso martini, Pennyville.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, right? I love Harp and Fiddle's backspace.
Yes.
They're just really accommodating for our events and just a casual dinner. My husband's all about the fish and chips there. So
And they bend over backwards from
they
a service
do.
perspective.
They give back so much
They're
in the
wonderful.
community. So I appreciate that.
Shout out to Jerry.
Yeah, shout out to Jerry. If I have a gift to buy, I stop in at Two Sisters.
Of course. Shout out to Natalie.
Yeah. I love Molly's. We take it to go, and I've seen my husband and my son in there doing the golf simulator.
Your kids' pictures are on the wall.
Oh, my kids' pictures on the wall.
And my kids'
Tom's
pictures
great.
on the wall. Yeah, Tom is great.
There's a picture of a lot of the main South.
Really
athletes.
feels like we're talking about our family when we're
know.
talking about the prominent businesses in Park Ridge, because everybody's so connected. Everybody knows each other. Our kids have grown up together.
Yeah.
It's just a really special.
And I still love the library.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I did that when the kids were little. I went and I just renewed my library card like a month ago.
Got good meeting space. That's what I pretty much use it for
space.
these days.
Yes.
Good kid section.
Elia's a great new addition, I think, to Park Ridge.
Yes. Amazing.
They've been very,
Yeah.
I hope they have a lot of success.
Yeah. We've got it all.
We really do.
Bluefish is my favorite sushi joint.
Yeah.
We've got 2 new coffee places. The one hasn't opened yet, but DeMarco is a great addition.
Yes.
Right off the train. We've got the 2 train stops in Park Ridge, so that makes it really accessible for commuters.
And our park districts.
Our park districts are top notch.
I still will go to the Wildwood area and just walk around the pond when the weather's nice. So.
Yep, we've got the outdoor skating rinks. We've got
And
the
Oakton,
new
the
dog
new
park,
facility at
the
Oakton.
new field space at Oakton. I mean,
you don't need to leave Park Ridge anymore.
I really try not to. I'm like, is it outside of 60068? I don't want to go. But no, it's good. Edison Park is right next door.
Yes.
We do get to take advantage of the offerings there, which is awesome. Tony's Deli. Penny Bird is one of my favorite boutiques over there. I get a lot of cute stuff over there.
Yeah.
So we're really blessed.
I think it all comes down to there's so many small businesses and there's some large, we have our Starbucks, and I still love my Starbucks too. I'm not going to say that I don't do the large businesses, but there's so many small businesses, and we've got, just a lot of.
And you and I went out of town this weekend, and one of the top, for our friend's 50th, one of the top things that kept popping in my mind was, gosh, how lucky am I to live so close to O'Hare?
Yeah.
The proximity to the expressways, to O'Hare, to downtown, and then, the expressways will take you to all of the collar suburbs.
Yeah.
It's just really a wonderful location in that respect.
The train.
The accessibility. The 2 train spots there,
downtown.
the train spot in Edison Park. My teenagers have been hopping on, the Metro and heading downtown, since 2020.
They've figured out public transportation. That's
going
for sure.
down to a game at Wrigley. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Taking the train actually north to Arlington Heights to take advantage of all the things they've got to offer.
Yeah.
It's just a really central
Especially
location.
if
It's
Bears
wonderful.
move there.
Yeah. So
That will be good.
That would be amazing. Park in Park Ridge and take the train north. Be great. I really feel like
schools.
It's
I think schools are one of the big draws to Park Ridge. I think people come for our schools.
Yeah. Maine East, Maine South, both very top-notch academically. Maine South has always been a sports powerhouse. Maine East has lots of different arts offerings
and West, and then
educational offerings.
District 64 with the elementary schools and the middle schools. Strong academics, great teachers.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, when you move to Park Ridge, you don't have to pay for private schools because the public schools really have it all.
Yeah, they do.
We're very lucky that way. Yeah, and we're graduating 2 more seniors this year between the two of us. So 1 more to go.
Done.
Yeah, 2 down, 1 to go. For me, you're done. So that's a wrap. We were really fortunate to spend time today with you, Tania Forte, at Properties Agent, top-notch Park Ridge, and the surrounding Northwest Suburbs agent. Thank you for your time today. Just, we're really fortunate to be part of such a great community, and I'm very fortunate to have such a loyal and impactful partner in my life. Yeah, in all things. So thank you.